I'm not an economist, and what I'm about to share are my personal studies coming from my curiosity, so some of the information provided here may not be completely accurate. Supporting links are provided in the description, and some of the details of this video come from the Texas antitrust lawsuit that is publicly available. On January 24th this year, the US Justice Department sued Google for monopolizing digital advertising technologies. This is sometimes referred to as Google's Project Bernanke. In order to completely understand what has happened and what Google was doing, you need to know a little about auctions, which is a branch of economics. An auction means a public sale in which goods or property are sold to the highest bidder, and a bidder is a person or organization making a formal offer for something. So basically, an auction is a sale to sell goods to someone who wants to buy them. There are normally three parties involved in an auction: the seller, who sells, the auctioneer, who is holding the auction, and the bidders, that are the people who want to buy. Each bidder has private information about what the value of that product or service is to them, and it's specific to that bidder. As an example, think about your high school's yearbook's value for you versus someone who hasn't attended that school. Then, there's the price that the bidder is willing to pay for the product if they win the auction. The revenue is what remains. Now, let's go back to the auctions. Hearing the word auction, most people think about selling antiques or painting. Although this picture is true in some sense, the auctions are very wider than that. In fact, it is interesting to know that once the whole Roman Empire was sold in an auction. There are three main models of auctions that knowing a little about them is necessary: first price auction, ascending price or English auction, and Vickery or second price auction. Let's start with the English auction, which is normally the most represented in media. In an English auction, the auctioneer starts with a base price for the product. For each price represented, some of the bidders who are willing to pay would raise their hands. The price would go higher by the bidders' offers, and as the price goes up, the bidders' hands will go down. This process continues until there is only one person left who is willing to pay. This bidder is going to be the winner. There are some points you should notice about the English auction. First, this type of auction is open. All of the bidders can monitor others' behavior, and doing so, they will get some sense of how valuable the product is to their rivals. Second, the English auction is a strategy proof. In game theory, a game where players have private information is a strategy proof if the best strategy for every player is to reveal their private information. So, as a bidder, it's best for you to be truthful about what is the value of the object. You will keep raising your hand so long as the price doesn't exceed this value and there exists a rival bidder. There is one important issue here, and that's the time. There must be a correspondence between the bidders and the auctioneer before the final price and hence the winner is settled. So the English auction is not static. Now, let's talk about the first price auction. Consider we have three bidders wanting to buy something, let's say a painting, and there is an auctioneer that is taking the bidders' offers. This is how the first price auction works. Each bidder will write what they are willing to pay for the painting, put their offers in an envelope, and give them to the auctioneer. The auctioneer that now has received three envelopes containing the bids will open them and see the prices. The winner is the bidder who has offered to pay the highest value, and they have to pay exactly what they have written on the paper. As simple and fast as this, there is just one act to happen, and the correspondence of English auction doesn't take place here. There are some notes about the first price auction. It's a sealed bid auction. The bidders have no idea about other bids, and in contrast to the English auction, their rivals' behavior doesn't affect their bids. But there is also an issue here. Since the bidders have only one chance to set their offers, what is the best strategy to bid? Obviously, if the bidders bid their value, there won't be any revenues for them. So they have to set a price less than their value. But how much less? The lesser their offering price, the higher the revenue they will have. However, as a bidder lessens their price, there is more chance that they will lose the auction and others would win. This lack of strategy proofness makes the first price auction a bit challenging. The last type of auction is the second price or Vickery auction, which was named after William Vickery, the winner of the Nobel Prize in Economics, for his attributions in this area. The second price auction is very similar to the first price, except for a little twist. Imagine all the setup described previously for the first price auction. 3 bidders write their bids, put them on the envelopes, and give them to the auctioneer. The auctioneer checks the bids, and the winner is the one with the highest bid. However, this time the winner will pay what was the second highest bid. This little change makes the strategy for the second price auction very robust. William Vickery proved that the best strategy for each bidder is to bid exactly their own value. Let's think of an example. Assume that your value is $80 and you want to make a bid. If you choose a higher bid than your value, say $82, there might be another bid of $81, and if you win, the second price would be $81 and you have to pay more than your value, which in the end would cause you no profit but actually a $1 loss. Now, if you bid less than your value, let's say $78, there might be another bid of $79, which would end up being the highest bid and the winner. So, by bidding less than your value, you have lost the auction and a potential profit. So the best strategy for you is to bid exactly your own value, and the second price auction gives you a solid strategy to follow. So by far, the second price auction is the best choice. It's a sealed bid auction, and your information as a bidder is protected. It's a strategy proof, and there are no challenges on what's the best to bid. And it's fast. There's just one act and it takes no time. Considering all 3 types of auctions, the second price is the best choice, right? Well, so far, most companies had thought so. But here comes the plot twist. Everything that we mentioned about the second price auction was based on an important presumption, that the auctioneer is not going to lie. But what if it doesn't happen? What if you bid for $80 and won the auction? The second highest bid was $62, but the auctioneer told you it is $79. This non-credibility of the Vickery auction is what recently has been noticed and made many companies change their auction method back from the second price to the first price. Now let's jump to the beginning and what may have been happening in Google. You probably have seen different ads while visiting a website. They may be pop-up ads or article-like ads. But what is important is that surprisingly, those ads are so relevant to your lifestyle and even to what you've searched for yesterday. The point is that websites use cookies. These cookies paint a revealing picture of who you are as a person, describing your online habits such as where you get your news, where you shop, which sport teams do you like, which music you download, etc., etc. The advertisers who are using Google Ads can specify narrow rules for when they might like to advertise and how much they would be willing to pay to do so by using this information. So basically, when a website asks Google Ads to show the advertisements to the user, the rules are like this. Using the second price auction, Google would set the highest bidder as the advertiser on the website and charge them for the second highest bid. In this picture, it would be $16. Then 20% of that money would belong to Google itself and 80% to the website using Google Ads. However, this may not have been what was happening. In the Google Bernanke project, this is how the auction worked. Considering the same example as above, think that Google gets bids of $20, $16, $10, and $5. Now, Google informs the winner the second highest bid is $16 and charges them for the money. But instead of saying the true value, Google would tell the third highest price as the received money to the website. This way, after dividing the third bid for $20.80, Google would take the remaining money for itself. Now just consider this solid $4 profit on a scale of billions of ads that are shown and clicked by daily. The amount of money is scary, right? This was the whole story based on the information I have gathered. How Google will respond to these accusations and what will happen next are mysteries that we must sit and observe. Thank you for staying so far. I hope this video was helpful to you. Check the supporting books, articles, and websites if you are more interested. Have fun learning new things, and goodbye.